السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين ثم أما بعد. It's really an honor to be invited here to this conference in Nairobi. It's huge, mashallah. I was not expecting this, mashallah. I will talk to you about Islam and economics today, inshallah. If they get it on the screen, I will talk to you about wealth. I don't want my picture on the screen, I want PowerPoint. Where is the technician? I can't see him in the light. Well, he'll work on it and I will speak until he gets it up, inshallah. I will talk about Islam and economics. In the introduction, he said we'll talk about the Islamic model the Muslims are following today. I will not do that, because there is no Muslims following the Islamic model, unfortunately. I will talk about the model the world is following today and the problem and the challenges. And then I will talk about the Islamic model and how it works, and the optimal Islamic model. I will talk about wealth and how you can get wealthy. And becoming wealthy in Islam is not haram. You have to know that. On the contrary, it's very important to try to become wealthy. So I'll start off by asking, who wants to become wealthy in the audience? Only Jamilu? Ask a couple here. I say, if you don't raise your hand, you're not true. You're lying. Everybody wants to become wealthy. It's a part of our nature. It's a part of us as humans. I'll go through, inshallah, when they get it on the screen, the model. I have some preconditions. I will not go through a complete model. He won't get it now, because now it's locked the computer. You need a password. Do you need help? Yes, you. I think we need some help over there. He won't get it on. Do you need help? I always test my equipment before I start. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that in Africa, so that's one of the African things, I guess. I think I have to go off the stage, go back to him, and put on the computer. You have to apologize me for this incident. Yes, he is not getting the computer on. I'll help him. Just this. Yeah. No. Oh, it just gets on the part. That's why I want to test it in the front. I apologize for the delay and the challenges we're having technically, but now we're on. And I say, those who are waiting for something good, they don't wait forever. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I see if this works. No, it doesn't. So you have to push over there. Next, today's agenda, we're going to talk about Islam and economics, how you can get wealthy. I have some preconditions. And we're going to talk about economy and media coverage. You just push next, until I say stop. Islamic model, Islam and finance, banking, and conclusion and advice. Preconditions, if you go next. Yeah, this doesn't work really good. There are some constraints. I will not go through a complete model, just I'll make it simplifications, because we have different levels of knowledge. And I say my correct words are from Allah, my wrong words are from myself. Right? Okay, let's go to media coverage. Push. I would like to control it myself. Can't. This is Sweden. Just push. This is Sweden. In Sweden, the banks are valued 4 times GDP. What does that mean? It means that the banks in Sweden are worth 4 times the total production in Sweden. And the banks in Sweden, they are not international, they're local. So how come these banks are worth us that much? How come they have all this value? We'll go through that. Next. You just do all the slide all the time. We don't need to do piece by piece. This is UK, England. Over 100,000 people in England try to kill themselves every year. The challenge is debt. Sheikh, just push all of the screen at once. Yeah, good. So why? What is the problem? What is the challenge in the UK? 100,000 in England. That's a lot of people trying to kill themselves just because of their economy. Then we have Norway. And in Norway is the richest country in the world. We have a huge challenge there, the economic model. But they don't understand what is the problem. This is the IMF chief, Oliver Blanchard. He says he's fighting the financial beast. He's quitting IMF. You know, everybody know IMF? International Monetary Fund. And this is the UK. They expect the UK, the living standard in the UK will go back to the 1950s. That's just after the Second World War. What is happening? What is the problem? What's the challenge? The challenge and the problem is the economic model in these countries. We have Kenya. If you get Kenya up, I read in the newspaper this other day, the inflation in Kenya is high. The currency is going down, the value of the currency, and the challenge is what? What is the problem with the Kenyan economy? Anybody has an answer? Government. I won't go in that direction today. I want to come back another time to Nairobi. The problem is they have bonds that are maturing. It means they have borrowed money. They are maturing now in May, I guess, and Kenya will have a huge problem. I'll show you why. This is the former financial minister in Germany. He's one of the most knowledgeable in economics. He says we have created a doomsday machine. What is he saying? What's a doomsday machine in economics? Yeah? Just continue. China. Did you know China owns Kenya? If there's any, let's say, they own a lot of African countries, unfortunately. This is the newspaper. You read, all of you read this newspaper, right? Inflation in Kenya is high. Yeah? So what are the challenges? What are the problems? What are the problems with this model? So in Islam, we will start off by explaining you basic economics, simple economics. In economics, what is social economics all about? It's about maximizing welfare with scarce resources. Meaning you have a set of resources and you're going to maximize wealth. That's what it's all about. That's in Surah Al-Baqarah. إِنِّي جَعَلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. I put on this earth a custodian. His job is to maximize welfare. Okay. So we have 2 forms of assets in an economy. You have to push along. I'm far ahead of you. Yes, we have tangible assets, goods and services, and we have financial assets, money, credit, bonds. Now the first important point comes up now. In Islam, the Quran already defined the capital market 1400 years ago. We do not equate trading tangible assets with trading financial assets, 2 different things. So we separate in Islam between these two things. Then we have what we call a market economy and a planned economy. Market economy is where the demand and the supply determines production. It's a free market, closely the US. And then we have a planned economy where the government determines production. It's like North Korea. First question is, what is the Islamic model, do you think? Which is the closest to the Islamic model? Those who think it's a market economy, raise their hands. Oh, 2. Planned economy, socialism. Raise their hands. Nothing. Raise their hands. Wow. In the old days, the Muslims thought that, a lot of Muslim countries thought that the Islamic model was close to the social economic model, planned economy. That's wrong. You just push. It is actually close to the the market economy. Because in Islam, it's a free right to own everything you want. We should maximize profits. That's the basic in Islam. We have some restrictions in Islam. I just push. And these are clearly defined in the Quran. And the Quran, it is what I call the recipe for success when it comes to economy. It's the recipe for wealth. It tells you how you can get rich. You just have to understand it. I usually say it's the recipe, and it's a list, it's the prices of shares on the London Stock Exchange the next month. And of course, what do? You buy it. So the essence of the model, Islamic model, is for growth, is fair and sustainable risk models, value creation and value production, and it's production of tangible goods. That's the essence. Fair model. Just push. Now it stopped. So the question becomes, what are we allowed to do, not allowed to do? There are 4 things basically we cannot trade in. The first is financial assets. We cannot trade in money. The second is alcohol. The third is gambling. The fourth is pork and prostitution, proper, same, basically. Others, we can do trade in. So we have these restrictions, and we have the restrictions on trading in financial capital. We'll start off by that. I start off with the question, where does money come from? Anybody here study economics? None. Nobody have studied economics? You. Can you come to the podium? Doesn't the computer work? I can't see you. Because I'm going to do a mathematical. Oh, now it works. Now we lost. Okay, question. Where does money come from? Who makes the money?
Money is made for a country. It's from the central banks.
The central bank makes the money, right?
Yes.
What did you study in economics?
International economics.
So you learn a lot. How, bachelor, master, PhD?
Now doing PhD.
MashaAllah. This is going to be fun. Money comes from the central bank. They make the money, right?
Well, for an economy in a country, yes. It's the central bank that makes and controls the money.
Great. He's dead. Can you have a seat? I will use you later. So, before we go there, this is Islam, the Quran and Sunnah on the top. We divide Islam and Sunnah that controls faith, Sharia, and behavior. We have the man-man relationship. This is Sharia, the laws, social economics, politics, and we have the man-God rules, society. Basic, simple. Next. Then in Islam, we have a rule. Yeah, I want to ask people first. We have this formula. It's called W equals X times Z. Why? X is belief, Y is action. And a lot of people say, I have a lot of belief, but I do all the wrong things. What is the W then? Is 0. I have a lot of faith and do the wrong things. Others say, I do a lot of good things, but I just don't have faith. Still 0. So in Islam, we have to do the right things and also have faith. It doesn't work without. And then that's the essential, right? God says in Surah Al-Dhariyat, He created jinn and man only to worship Him. So what is worship? Basically, worship is everything we do. Everything. It's just not just the masks and the prayers. It's everything we do. And we have to follow the Quran. Then in Surah Al-Baqarah, He says, ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. And this is a concept a lot of people struggle with. What is ghaib? In Islam, we have what I call predefined algorithms. You can't see these algorithms. This predefined algorithm is from God. It's the law. If I throw this mic down, the law of what controls it? Nobody knows? Gravity. So there's a relationship between cause and effect. Our job is to do action, do the right action. We do not understand the algorithms, what happens in the end, what comes out. We do not really have to understand. We just have to do. Samana wa atana. And this is the precondition. This is ghaib. We don't understand all the connections in the world. We have cognitive limitations. We don't understand. When I do an action, it has an effect. So how am I going to maximize the effect? Well, God gave us the Quran, the answers for everything we should do. Then we maximize the effect. Basically easy. So the atheists, and especially some of them, have you heard about Mao? Who've heard about Mao? Chinese leader, atheist. He said he had a problem. They wanted to increase food production in China, and the sparrows, a small bird, was eating the seeds. So he said, we have to kill the sparrows. Then the Muslims in China, there's a lot of Muslims in China, told him, no, we don't think that's good. Because we know that Allah said everything has its rizq. So these sparrows, when they eat the seeds, it's part of their livelihood. I said, no, you don't understand anything, he told them. So what did he do? They started the sparrow campaign. So when they started the sparrow campaign, they killed all the sparrows in China. The first year, production of food increased. But the second year, what happened? The number of insects increased a lot, and all the crops were destroyed. Within 2 years, 40 million Chinese died. It's a huge number. Because he didn't understand the relationship between cause and effect. That's really loud. These slides are killing me. A white guy in Africa and light in Israel. So this is the point. There is some effects here, predefined algorithms we don't understand. We just have to do. Quran says just do the things. That's enough. So I said we have some prohibitions in Islam and what we can trade in. Can you put up the bank? There's a slide with the bank example. Now it's forward, not backward. This is challenging with technicians. This is a sparrow campaign. Okay, we start without a slide, and I try to make you understand. Now I'm going to need an economist. Please come to the stage. He's an economist. Do you have a mathematician? Anybody do math? Nobody does math? Anybody good at math? Sorry, nobody wants to help you. Okay. If you get this, you get a lot. And unfortunately, it would be best if I showed you on the screen, but they're not getting there. There's this guy, he's called Abdi. In Norway, every Somali guy is called Abdi. I don't know why. You're also Abdi, MashaAllah. Fits very well. Abdul Qadir, MashaAllah. Okay, Abdi here, his father gives him $1,000 as a gift. So Abdi goes to the bank, he deposits $1,000. Right? You're with me so far, right? Very simple. And let's make it even simpler. We said that the bank has to keep 10% of what he deposits as a security. They can't do anything with it. So how much money does the bank has to keep? $100 US. Really good. So Hassan comes along to the bank and he wants to borrow money. How much money can Hassan borrow? Maximize.
900.
Really good.
Abdi's money was 1,000, so 1,000 is in deposit. There is 900 available.
So far, so good. That's really good. Then everybody knows it. So now he sells the car. Hassan sells the car to Hussein. Hussein puts the 900 in the bank. Musa comes along. He wants to buy a boat. Yes. How much can Musa borrow now? Now it gets difficult.
You didn't tell me if Hassan was allowed to borrow. What was there before?
No, Musa can now borrow the maximize borrowing.
Well, 900 as well. The only amount available, isn't it? If Hassan hasn't borrowed.
No. Wrong. Try again.
100?
No. Yes. You mathematician? Almost. Yes, 810. Could you please get to this model? Because it's so easier if they see it on the screen, and it's so important that they see it. But don't go too fast. Go. Right. Again, one more. One more. 10% good. One more. One more. Abdi, yes. One more. Yes. One more. Yes. Good. Oh, stop now. Stop. Stop. Good. So Musa can borrow 810. He buys a house from Noor, who puts 810 in the bank. Now Ali comes along, he wants to buy a boat. How much can he borrow?
So that's, yeah, the answer is not there. So it's,
That's the point.
if it goes to 10% less of that,
Yes.
about 700.
About 700, very good. 729, put it on. Right. And he buys the boat from Ahmed. Right? You can put on Ahmed as well. Then Saeed has a wife. She wants a purse. It's very expensive. So he goes to the bank to borrow a purse. How much can Saeed borrow now? Now it gets difficult.
10% less, that's about just under 600. No. About 600? 656?
Yes, 656. And the seller is Omar. He puts 656 in the bank. Put that up as well. Now the question comes. You told me money was made from the central bank. They are the ones who made money. How much deposit is it in the bank now?
The 100 that was there before, and then now the 1,000, that's 900 minus 657.
Now, if you continue this example down, we'll get the deposits will become, now you can put it on, 10,000. And the mortgages? The mortgages?
9,000?
Yes, that's a good one. You're the first one who managed 9,000. Oh, you put it. I was so impressed. Well, unfortunately, you couldn't see this from the start, but now you see it. So, how much money was deposited the first time? How much real money? $1,000.
$1,000.
So where did the 10,000 come from?
Yeah, I think, well, it's the growth of the money.
Money grows? Does money grow?
Well, because people borrow, and there's, well, in these circumstances, because they are charged on it, there's money on money, and so it goes to 9,000.
This is the banking system today. You put $1,000, and the banking system makes contracts. There is no money there. Yes?
Yeah. It's okay
No.
now?
You're not done yet. He's taking a PhD in economics. Oh, poor guy. So what happens if Abdi, Hussein, Noor, Ahmed, and Omar goes to the bank to take out their money?
Well, there might not be physical, I mean, there might not be real money. What they're getting is created value of money.
No, there's not created value. Where's the value?
Now you mean how much they can access?
If these guys want to take out their money, you go to the bank, I want to take out my money. What happens?
Well, he gets his money.
But there's only 1,000, and deposit is 10,000.
From his 1,000, the 1,000 he's put before?
Yeah, but the sum of deposits is 10,000.
I don't think I get your question.
If Abdi, Hussein, Noor, and Ahmed, and Omar goes to the bank, they want to take out their money. Yeah. That's total 10,000. What happens? The bank collapses. The nation collapses because there is no money there. So if you, as Muslims, and as promised you, I'll make you wealthy, if you follow Quran and Sunnah, this is the rule number 1. In Kenya, and it's coming, Kenya is the worst off, they have only electronic money. Mombasa, what is it called? You don't have any money. If you have money in the bank, remove it. Trust me. This happened in a country very close to you, not long time ago. Which was that? Zimbabwe. It's not a problem. It is a problem. But this problem you can't solve if you just use dollars. What did the government in Zimbabwe do?
The what?
The government in Zimbabwe, when everybody wanted to take out their money, what did they do?
They dollarized the economy. They just canceled their local currency and dollarized the economy.
Dollarized, but they don't have dollars.
Yeah, but they just created some hypothetical value.
Hypothetical air, nothing. People were not allowed to take out their money. So there were restrictions. And then some stupid people, they do, if it's local currency, they print money. This is what the Kenyan government is doing today, because they're afraid they will collapse in a couple of months. So they're printing money as hell. And what will happen when you print money? It's just paper. What happens then if you don't get this answer right? I will go to your professor.
Inflation.
Yes, and a better word for
Too much money chasing after a few goods.
hyperinflation. Crazy. It's not, it's just paperwork. So this is the system today. Now you can have a seat here or there. I'll call you up later. This is the system. Subhanallah. And this system has created a lot of problems. And it made very few people extremely rich. BlackRock is a company in the US. They own Argentina because of this. One man, he owns the whole country. Venezuela, everybody's heard about Venezuela. Richest country in the world. Gold, petrol, food production, they have everything. It's almost like Africa. But they were stupid. They entered this system. And they couldn't pay their mortgage. They couldn't pay down. So the Americans, or this guy came and say, oh, if you don't pay down, we will just close down your economy, or you will give us what you have of values. And which values are the gold, the petrol, you will just give it to us for nothing. We gave you air, and you took your land. And this is what they're doing here now. Go on. Everybody got this? I simplified a bit. This is the situation. The United States, 2008, Obama, he's from Kenya. And I met a lot of Kenyans, and he must be the most stupid Kenyan I ever met. Because when this was about to collapse in the US in 2008, and he was putting in, what should I do, what should I do? Can't collapse while I'm on watch. What will they say? Me in the White House, and it collapses. So he printed more money, and he reduced it 10% to 2%. And he said, oh, next elections, Trump will win, and then it will crash, and they'll say, oh, you choose that stupid guy, and you see what happened. But it was Obama who did it, really. So, Second World War. Who's heard about the Second World War? Raise their hands. Nobody has heard about the Second World War? Oh, just you. What did you study? What did you study?
Hadith and also chartered accounts.
Ah, right, good. Second World War, the Germans tried to create economic growth. They blown a lot of money in the 1930s. And it's just air, and it collapses. So the Germans were the first to try to print money. They get hyperinflation. And the Germans, they were quite good workers, so they used to save a lot of money. So the Germans worked, they saved 1,000 mark at that time. You wake up on 1,000 mark, you could buy a house. Next day, you couldn't buy an apple even. So what did the Germans have to do? When you don't have valuable, tangible assets, production in your country, you have to steal from somebody else. So who did they steal from?
They attacked Poland.
Yes, really good. They attacked Poland. They went to Poland. Poland had a lot of production, a lot of food, and the Second World War was on. It's a direct consequence of this system. And before I entered the stage, now it's the next challenge. Now you're in. They were talking about the Ottoman Empire, about Constantinople, how we conquered Constantinople. Today I'll tell you how Constantinople was eliminated. When did the Islamic Empire, of Ottoman Empire, fall?
I believe it was 1921.
Wrong. Try again.
1924.
Wrong. Any historian? You can go to the slide Ottoman Empire. Follow this, you have to see. Continue. Yeah, you have to push forward. I won't go through. I've gone through that. Just choose the Ottoman Empire. Yes. No, he's wrong. Any historian? Any historian? Ah, there, come up. Ah, this is gonna be fun. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name?
Hamid.
Abdi. Good. Abdi. The Ottoman Empire, you know about it, right? When did it fall?
1923.
You study history where?
I'm in high school.
You're in high school, yes. No. No. 1857. Who knew that the Ottoman Empire fall in 1857? No, it's wrong. I'll show you now. This is the Ottoman Empire, 1856, sorry. The Ottoman Empire issued a fatwa. It allowed the Ottoman Empire to borrow money. They allowed it to borrow money. Like our ulama today, they make a fatwa that says it's allowed to borrow money from the bank, trade in finance. They borrow money from the UK, from Benjamin the Israel. Push. 1875, the Ottoman Empire uses more than half of its total income to pay interest rates. Ottoman Empire was huge. Africa, Asia, Europe, and using 50% to pay interest rate. The income, total income, is crazy. And then, subhanallah, this one here, he was very insistent. It was in the 90s. Yeah, push. 13th of October, subhanallah, when Allah wants to teach us a lesson, He does it in the best of the ways. The day before Eid, the Ottoman Empire declares it's bankrupt. It's finished. We established, or the British established the OPDA. You can go to Istanbul and see it today. Ottoman Depth Public Administration. Ottoman Empire is finished. It's closed down. The UK, Benjamin Israel, he has now control of the Ottoman Empire. But it's huge. So it takes some time to divide it and split up the things. That's why we think it's after the First World War, but it wasn't. Already then. 10 minutes left. Oh. I used 20 minutes just to get a computer up. And then it's over. So, who studied Sharia? Who studied Sharia? Nobody studied Sharia? Who is Hafiz? Suddenly nobody wants to come to the stage. You studied Sharia? Hadith. I didn't study Quran, Hadith. Anybody studied the Quran? Why is this a war? The Ottoman couldn't win. 19 years. This is an empire, existed for hundreds of years. It's huge. And it falls within 19 years. Why is this a war they couldn't win? Yes. But if you start the ayah first, what does it say? It's talking about to the Muslims. It's not to the kuffar. You who believe, if you make a fatwa that riba is halal, you're in war with Allah, and you will not win. You can continue to push. So we are only at 10 minutes, and it's too much. And as I say, this guy doesn't trust me. I say, no, I didn't fall that time. You can read what the kuffar is saying. This is Nigel Ferguson at Harvard University. He's studying the Ottoman Empire and the history and economics, and he says the Ottoman Empire fell only because of the debt, of the interest rate. That's the only reason it was crushed. And what have we learned from this? Yeah, push on. I just push on. We're only at 10 minutes, so we have to go to the end. Because what we're wondering is, okay, you're saying this is haram, but a lot of the ulama is saying, yes, one interesting one. Push CIA report. You all know CIA. Oh, it doesn't get further. The CIA said that the largest problem, the hugest problem for the world is its banking and the interest system. That's the biggest problem in the world. The Quran already said it. So, in Islam, first of all, Surah Al-Baqarah, it defines the capital market and it distinguishes between tangible assets and financial assets in Surah Al-Baqarah. And it says you can trade in tangible assets, but not in financial assets. It's very clear. It's not nothing you can't read between it. Some Muslims, ulama, they have changed the word riba to, this is in hadith, to, no, fawaid, gain on capital. It's just cheating yourself. There is no such thing as gain on capital. So, as we see here, this is in, too fast, okay. Here it says in Surah Al-Baqarah, he went too fast, that God does not bless usury, but he blesses sadaqah. What does it mean when he blesses sadaqah, growth? You remember this model I showed you, predefined algorithms? It actually means that if you give $50, you'll get 100 back. For dunya, not for akhirah. Adam Grant, as you can see here, he's a professor in the US. He went and made an empirical study last year. So he interviewed a lot of business people, executives, huge corporations. He wanted to know, why does some corporations make better return on investment than others? What's the reason? And what he found in empirical studies, that those who give money, give something valuable to those who need, they make more money on earth, in dunya. They're not a kuffar. They're not thinking about akhirah, in dunya. He will get a Nobel Prize in economics this year because he found that. Subhanallah. In the Quran, sadaqah, God says, you will get double. Just give in dunya. This ayah is really interesting. It comes in Al Imran, in the middle of it, and this is the essence. You all heard of Ma'rakat Uhud, right? Nobody's heard of Ma'rakat Uhud. Battle of Uhud, Ma'rakat. Raise your hand as I've heard of Battle of Uhud. Battle of Uhud. Everybody's heard of it. In Al Imran, this ayah comes. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu la ta'kulu riba ad'afan mudha'afa. But it comes in a strange place. The surah, the before and after, is not talking about money and economics. It's talking about the Battle of Uhud. And what happened in Battle of Uhud, the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam told a couple of people, you have to wait on the mountain. Don't go down from the mountain. You're going to stay there. Even if you see people picking up bodies from the ground, or you see birds picking up men from the ground, don't go down. You don't have to understand why, you just don't go down. The battle starts, the Muslims are having the upper hand, and the enemy are escaping the battlefield. They're throwing down their swords, their gold, their silver, everything they have, and running. The people on the mountain sees this and says, oh, the gold, the money, the credit, I want a part of this. And they run down. What happened? Few people chose the wrong action. Rasulullah said, you don't have to understand why. You just don't go down from the mountain. That's the only thing you have to do. They run down, own benefit. They wanted to make money quick. And the consequence was fatal for the Ummah al-Islamiyya. Like the Ottoman Empire, we are still suffering from the consequences of those ulama today. So they went down, and this was the largest blow to the Muslim country at that time. A lot of Sahaba was killed. It was an awful battle for the Sahaba. Subhanallah. But this was a teaching for us. We have to stick to the Quran. Okay, we go to the last one since I don't have time. So we're asking, I'm working a lot with investors and huge investors in Europe, and they know this is coming. They know it's coming in Europe. It's just a matter of months, maybe years, it's coming. And in Kenya, it's coming maybe next month. So what should I do? And this is where the wealth part comes. Yeah, they know all these hadiths that, you know, if you have sex with your mother, it's like taking interest in all this. So continue. And what should I do? Well, Islam is very simple. And I said in the beginning, you should invest in tangible assets. We do invest in something. These rich people, and these are rich families I work for, and they've been rich for 100 and 200 years. They have one rule. We do not borrow money. We do not trade in capital. That's the only rule they have. This is why they're so rich for so many years. Go to the last one almost. Yeah, even more. Yeah, you can stop. Yeah, I put it up. It's in Norwegian, so I'll translate it. So what should we invest in? I say invest in food production, land, renewable energy, because when this collapses, people will still need food. So if you as Muslims in Kenyan society have done the right investments, do not have your money in the bank. I will come back next year and I'll ask you who has his money in the bank. He will be poor. If you invest smart today, you do as the Quran, as Allah told us, I promise you, by Allah, you will be the wealthiest of people in Kenya and in the world. You just have to do it, and you don't have to understand why. You don't need to understand this model I showed you and all this. When you read in a paper, oh, what is this? There's maturing bonds. What does this mean? You don't have to understand. You just have to understand, I just do what the Quran says. So you should invest in tangible assets. And tangible assets, I say food production. That's, no, you're too fast. Back, back, back. This is tomorrow. Back. Stop. So food, land, tangible assets, renewable energy, security, all forms of security. What happens when economics goes down? People move, become differences, crime rise. So if you do this, you make money. Trust me, you'll be rich, you'll be wealthy. This is a guarantee from Allah. You only have to do it. Unfortunately, today's lecture was a little bit, what should I say, scrambling because of the technicians. But tomorrow I'll go through, and inshallah this will work tomorrow, what you should do on an individual level. How do I start my business? If I have a business, how do I improve it? How do I make better return on money? I'll go through the Quran and Sunnah and what Allah says we should do in order to make more money as individuals. We've done the macroeconomics today. That's a general framework. And as we saw, the PhD student in economics, and he's really good. Trust me, most economics people don't understand this banking system. Even finance ministers, the finance minister in Kenya, he doesn't know where money comes from. So tomorrow, inshallah, we'll go through concrete actions. What should I do to improve my economy at home? Do business, make more money. How do I start a business? What are the issues I should look for? How do I start? Where do I start? Inshallah, tomorrow. I really apologize for all these challenges we had today with the technicians. And if there are any questions, ask the Sheikh.
Barakallahu fiqh, Dr. IHAB. A kind request, inshallah, from all of us. Dr. IHAB, Doctor, Assalamu alaikum. The brothers and the sisters were texting me. They loved your lecture a lot. They wanted maybe if you can give them the PowerPoint presentation later, inshallah. And also to give them a second opportunity to listen to you.
As you see, I don't have this tasha, not hat, and I have a bird. If you want the power presentation, you have to pay for it. And second, if anybody of you is going to make money on what I'm teaching you today and tomorrow, I want 10%. Okay? Now, inshallah, I will give it to one of you, and you will post it, send it, and there's a lot of information, unfortunately, we couldn't go through today because of the techniques.